Hey everybody, I haven't made a video recap in 3 weeks now, I believe, so I've been slacking a bit on the YouTube game, but IFRX kind of inspired me today to get back on it and to go over my trades on it today and kind of just give you an update with what's up. So, IFRX, I'll go over all my trades, my entries, my exits, why I bought it, why I cut it, basically all the same stuff that I usually go over. First off, let's just take a look at the multi-month. So we see IFRX is a biotech ticker. It's trading at $37 a share. I believe it failed to study and gapped down to 360. Awful gap down, pretty horrible for anybody that was long overnight, obviously. So what happens is it seems to wash and find a bottom, the 220s. Choppy but uptrending. And what we have here is a downward channel. Okay, so it's in a downward channel. It double bottoms at 310 area, comes up a bit. Now I wasn't even watching this during this entire channel, right? I don't know these things are happening. I'm trading what's in play. However, on this day, the day before, it had a filing come out. So let's take a look at that filing. I see as a filing 1.8 million shares, 7% stake in the company. Okay, so normally that wouldn't really matter to me, but there seems to be a recent trend where these filings of ownership in the company, it's suddenly becoming a hot trend. I don't know why suddenly now, but I've seen it time and time again. I think it started with Vive, so VIVE. Owner had a filing of like 60% owned in the company, something crazy, and it caused Vive to make a multi-day run. So when I see this as a filing, it really caught my interest. Of course, I didn't get involved yesterday. I should have. Had an amazing run, multiple safe entries, and just amazing run. So my thought process was, okay, it could have a nice day too on this filing news. And what's better is, what do you see when this breaks out of the downtrending channel? What do you see? I see a very large candle. Now, if I compare this candle to the history, if you really look at it, that's one of the best performing days that IFRX has had in years. Let's look at the multi-year. You see big moves on the daily? Percent-wise? I mean, I don't. However, when it gets a filing news, that's hot news right now for whatever reason, it has a one day that has been its biggest percent gain in years. So that makes red flags go off in my mind that something is changing with IFRX, reaching a level of volatility that it doesn't normally have, and something special might be the works. Not to mention, if it gets over this $5 gap to fill area, it could be huge. I mean, I'm not trying to speculate too much, but this is going to be my top watch tomorrow. I mean, if this gaps to fill, who knows how high this could get wild, right? So, hey, we'll see, but I'm just letting you know why I was watching it. So it got my attention yesterday, watching it today for potential gap to fill. Now, it didn't fill gap today, but it had a hell of a run, and I want to go over my exact entries and exits and some of my thought processes behind those. Alright, so in the morning, like the best play was a dip buy. Kind of missed it. I wasn't too comfortable with it, but it started to break out of the range a bit. I took this uptrend when I felt comfortable. I took 1,000 shares at 413. It didn't move right away, but it had good support and it was holding fine, so I wasn't too worried. Now it held between 422 and 430 for a good 10 minutes. This is when I got scared out at 422, and I'll tell you why. 45,000 shares appeared on the ask at 425, and at that point I went, well, it failed to break out into the 430s. Now I have the biggest ask I've seen all day on the ticker at 425, and I go, okay, I'm out. So I lock up $100, and that same minute, somebody scooped the entire ask. They could not wait to buy it. Okay, they scooped it up. All 50,000 shares, or 60,000. They scooped it entirely. And after I saw that, I said, okay, I need to get back in this because something big's in the works. So I get back in at 430. A little bit of a FOMO buy, I'll admit, but I mean, at the same time, if it breaks out of the range, who's to say this couldn't have surged and just tested 450 right away? Now that didn't happen. It got slow, and I wasn't really feeling comfortable anymore, so I just simply cut at 437. Nothing wrong with that. I got out of the way, and it did dip to 423, so I am happy with that cut. And then it starts to develop again. So I just get back in at 431, and I will tell you why. Let's just make it real quick. So it forms a triangle. This is like a stair stepper, holds support. I take this surge breaking out of the triangle, so I take a 431 entry. Now it does the same thing. It does a double stair step, which is extremely bullish. Extremely bullish when it does this double stair step. So I actually added a 438 or around there. And I believe I even may have taken 2K shares here because I liked it so much. I loved this TK. I was really into it. I was looking for the 440 breakout. Didn't get it right away, but again, the support held and I had no reason to be worried. My average at that point was, I believe, 434.5. It was really holding well, and I had no indication that it was going to sell off, so I just held. 440 breakout. I was disappointed. I thought it was going to surge and right away hit 450, or at least test 450, right? And it didn't. And again, it got slow, and it scared me out at 440. I knew I was gonna have to battle this. It's an extremely choppy ticker, lots of hidden bids, and ask. I knew it was gonna be battle. Most likely should have just taken. Obviously looking back in hindsight it is what it is. But if you take a dip around 4, you really don't have to worry. And when you don't have to worry, you can just hold for the trend, and not worry too much about protecting yourself. Which means you could just hold through this entire chop and capture way more of the upside. In my case, I wasn't really playing it as optimally as I maybe should have. So I needed to manage my risk closer, and when you manage your risk closer, you're gonna get stopped out more. It just is what it is. So anyways, it developed again, and this time I took a 450 breakout. I got in at 450.7. The development was great. It higher low, just continued the trend, and I didn't know when or if this thing was going to explode. So I was just taking the entries with good risk management that I felt had proper risk reward that I can control my losses on. So I take the 451 entry. I actually give this one a long time. So I got in at like 108 and I cut it at 212. I gave it a full hour, and it just couldn't break out. Looked like it wanted to rip into the 460s and maybe test 470. 480, but I mean, it couldn't gain any momentum. And at that point, I was very nervous about it because at this point, it was running through my mind, okay, in the 460s. Where was it yesterday? It was in the 330s, and IFRX is not a former runner, like for the most part. So some alarm bells were going off. Okay, this is getting overextended. You need to be careful. And when it couldn't really do much and it failed to have a strong breakout here, I cut it, to protect myself. So I cut my entire position at 458, which I think was fine because if this thing was done and ran out of gas, boom, could have tanked to 435 in a single candle, in a single minute. Could have sold off. So I actually do like my sell there. Now it holds though, surprisingly. Like I didn't expect this. It held. It held nicely, formed a higher low, and now we're curling. And I just think to myself, wow, okay, time to get back in. It proved itself that it can hold, and it's time for another entry. So let's go. Get in at 462, and I get in at 467. Puts me at a 465 average, 2K shares. Finally get some nice momentum. All right, so I waited all day for this. I wish it happened sooner, but this was like some actual momentum, bullish surge that I was looking for all day. Finally get some instant upside. But this was awesome. And I gave it time. I was patient. Got some really nice bid support in the 490s. I was thinking we would test 5. Couldn't even get to 5. A little disappointing. But it made it pretty obvious. So it wasn't hard, I would say, because um, when it failed some of the 493 support, 492 support, it made it really obvious, okay, it's time to get out. So I was able to cut a 490, which I'm happy with. Very happy with, actually. That's like a $500 play. And for the day, I'm up $1,280. Singles add up. And I played many tickers today, many trades, way too many to go over, but IFRX was one that I wanted to highlight just to kind of show, like these multi-day runners have been working great lately. You got BCLI comes to mind, Trove, or not Trove, Vive. What's the other one? GNPX, big multi-day runner. And the examples, you can just more and more multi-day runners are happening. I'm loving the multi-day runners. You guys should too. There's a lot of money to be made on these multi-day runners. They've been working great, and just a beautiful breakout of this descending channel. And I tell you what, this breaks out of this gap to fill. If it can like hold 480s tomorrow and then get a $5 breakout, I think things are going to get interesting in IFRX. I don't want to hype it up too much, but wow. I mean, I haven't seen a setup this good in a very long time. So this is my top watch tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Oh, no guarantees, but definitely keep an eye on this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the insight on my trades. I think I did okay. I'm not going to say I did that good. I mean, look at the trades. They weren't that good. Okay, I didn't play this very good. Very sloppy in the beginning. It was a slow grinder. I wasn't really thinking about the long run, the long trend. My thought process was a little too short-sighted for the ticker's range and overall scale for the day. So that would be my critique to myself. But besides that, you know what? I'm green on the day. Solid day. And this one's top watch tomorrow. So yeah, to wrap it up, want to drop the video a like and subscribe. That would help a lot. Trying to grow my YouTube, and likes really help apparently with the whole YouTube thing. Put in the time to make this video. Really hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys on the next recap. Thanks for watching.